All right, I'm Avid Dancer. You're listening to We Found New Music with Grant Owens.
We're here on We Found New Music. Avid Dancer Jacob Summers joins me now in the studio. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
You're welcome.
What did you just play for us?
Just did a few songs. We played All the Other Girls, a song called I Told You So, and a song called Not Far to Go.
Awesome. Of
Three
course,
of my favorite songs ever.
mine too. I was going to say First Baths is out now. One of my favorite albums of the year. It just, you can put it on in the background and just jam out. Tell me about Avid Dancer, how it began, and has it been a solo project, and has it turned into kind of more like a full band for you?
Yes. I used to drum for a lot of bands. Drumming's like was my first instrument. I still get down on the drums when I can. But I was drumming in a band. There was a producer named Raymond Richards who was playing guitar in that band. That's how I kind of got to know him. He did the first Local Natives record and like a slew of other LA bands.
Northern American right now.
Yeah, he did Northern American, which is they're friends of mine, fixing to go and DJ at their CD release party right now. And yeah, so I ended up, I saw how he was producing this band I was playing in. I was like, well, if he can do that with this guy's songs, maybe he might be able to help me out.
Sure.
So I gave him a CD with some songs on it, like my demos. His wife ended up liking him. He left it in his car, and like the next day his wife was borrowing his car and came in and was like, who is that CD that you left in your car? And it's like, oh, that's Jacob. So anyway, long story short, he started working with me. I recorded a record really for myself, just like a song at a time. I'd save up money to pay him to go and do a song. And then ended up having some people that wanted to put the record out, which was like a dream come true. So, and then I started looking for people to support me on live.
Awesome.
And now I sing in a band.
Is there a meaning behind the name First Baths?
Yeah, when I was doing artwork or I was coming up with ideas for artwork for my album, my brother and sister and mom had all been sending me like envelopes of childhood photos. And so I just had like hundreds of childhood photos. So I thought maybe I would use those as my album artwork. And as I was going through, I saw one that was me having my first bath. My mom was giving me my first bath, and it's on the record. And she had written First Bath on the Polaroid. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. This is my first record. This is all like whatever, So it's kind of like my first musical bath, really. And I just liked it. And so I used that as the name.
Cool. Now, I assume these songs kind of started with guitar, you and guitar. I'm noticing some sax on the album, some spare instruments. How does that go along with the fact that, you've been touring with these guys for a while? Did they, did you work with your band for the sound on the album, or was that kind of your idea to bring in the spare instruments like sax and everything?
Well, I didn't have a band when I was doing the album, except for one song called I Want to See You Dance, and that was done way after. But when we would go in and do each song, we basically weren't really thinking, oh, what should this band sound like? It was just recording, like, what can I do that's going to make this song sound the best? If this was the only song that anyone ever heard. And at the end of that song, I was thinking about maybe doing this real Doorsy organ part, and then Raymond was like, I hate that idea. So let's maybe do a saxophone. The guy came in and literally did one take. I gave him $80 and he left, and that was what he did. It was great. It was a good track. So it was just kind of random ideas, not really thinking that, hey, maybe we might need a saxophone player. We don't use a sax live. It's just a record thing. But yeah, just whatever crazy, kooky idea we had at the time.
So as a former Marine, did you play often, pull out your guitar and play with some of your friends there out on the base?
I started playing guitar really when I was in the Marines, and so my roommate had a guitar. He showed me like a couple of chords. My brother showed me a couple of chords. But I did start recording some demos. So yeah, I did play guitar, but I wasn't jamming with anybody. It would have been way too embarrassing.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And there's kind of like a SoCal vibe throughout the album. Definitely kind of a surf rock vibe too. Were you kind of going for the SoCal vibe?
I think SoCal just kind of landed on me. You know what I mean? I was just like, at the time, I was just driving. I was going to school on the west side in Santa Monica. Just got introduced to marijuana and a lot of bands, So I was just like driving around listening to that kind of stuff, and it's just like kind of just happened in the studio. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like, oh, maybe we'll put more reverb on this, Yeah.
So it's kind of a California album, and it doesn't hurt that summer's on its way.
No.
So, you can throw on First Baths and just kind of,
Yeah.
bathe in the
Do
sun,
your
I
thing.
guess.
Yeah. Drive around the west side.
All right, cool. So you have a June tour coming up.
Mm-hmm.
What can we expect, and where are you heading?
We're not going anywhere crazy. A lot of the tour dates are in LA. Like we're doing Make Music Pasadena. We're playing
June 6th, yeah.
with Hani Al-Khatib at the Natural History Museum on Friday. We've got like a Santa Ana show, but we're gonna go up to San Francisco and Portland, and then just kind of head back down. So it's nothing super crazy. We're just gonna keep it West Coast,
Awesome. Well, we're excited that you have a full length out, First Baths. Where can people find your music?
If you Google AVID Dancer, it's iTunes, Spotify, that kind of thing.
Whole thing.
YouTube.
All right, Jacob, thank you so much for stopping in the Cherrytree house for
course,
us
man.
on We
Good
Found
to
Your
see
Music. And have a good DJ set tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going
All
to get
Fat
out of here
Possum,
right now.
right?
Yeah, all Fat Possum songs
Records.
tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Cool, man.
Have a dancer on We Found Your Music.
Yeah.